going a bit off bloody subject here. It's, you know, there's this old argument of why were old dovetails also bloody scruffy. You know, you can look at some fairly nice pieces of furniture, beautiful turnings, and the planing finish is very nice on it, and yet you open the drawer and these bloody dovetails, bloody hell, they're rough. They're real rough, and it's very common. And a lot of people have come to this conclusion that they just didn't care. It wasn't going to be seen, so they didn't care, and they just rushed through it, and they did it dead fast. And for quite a while, I just sort of followed on with that same belief. But what I quickly realised was that there was no time difference in me cutting a real scruffy joint and cutting a real clean joint. Because once you can cut a bloody dovetail, you can cut a bloody dovetail. It's as simple as that. You can't make a scruffy dovetail. Once it's clicked, you will always be able to cut that dovetail right. I've got to buckle up this bloody dovetail in this drawer next, after saying that. But no, you lock onto it. You understand the principle of what you're trying to do. You understand where to undercut, where to put the inaccuracies, so visually it is accurate. And the conclusion I came to anyway on that dovetail thing, like I said, a bit off subject, is that an edge tool is very simple. Piece of iron, anyone can make that. You could use an old hinge, sharpen it up, and it would work, it would cut. And it would probably work just the same as this chisel, this beautiful modern chisel, a real rough one. The only difference is this might last a little longer before it needs sharpening. A plane, I mean this is a metal one, but if I had a wooden one, very, very similar. It's just that chisel wedged into a wooden body, so that makes it easy. Turning tools, they're the same. You're spinning that wood. As long as the edge is sharp, you're getting crisp results. Something we take for bloody granted. The saw. Now this has never been bloody discussed, and I don't understand why. Now the saw is a technical marvel when you break this down. We take for granted this precise, rolled to even thickness plate. You imagine making this years ago. You know, we're talking 16th century, something like that, 17th century, somewhere around there. There is a lot of work in that. That would have made this tool, to have a good one, and there was good ones, that would have made this tool very expensive. You imagine also that we often use old tools. You know, I've got tools that are over 100 years old and they can be in still daily use, you know. So even someone in the 17th century, they might have had a pass-me-down saw that's even older than them, 100 year older. So these saws could be very rough. And again, the very wealthy furniture makers, their dovetails were beautiful. And they had posh saws, so there's a bit of a pattern there. So that's something I found when I'm actually replicating pieces, like an old chest, and I'm wanting that scruffy dovetail look. I don't bother picking this up. I actually cut the dovetails with this, deliberately, because I can't cut them neat with this. This gives me a very, very accurate representation of what their dovetails looked like. So that's my theory on it anyway, is that a saw's a complex thing to make. If you've got a rough as chuff saw, you're going to make rough as chuff joints. It's a little bit off the subject there, but it kind of just goes to show that once you do a joint right, it's very hard to get it wrong. Once you've clocked that you're trying to make it tighter, you'll always make it just under to make it fit. And I'm going to really have to force myself to make a tight joint here.